Hello and welcome to another episode of Simple Cryptocurrency Videocasts. And in this videocast, we're going to be talking about graphic design in cryptocurrency and all the different projects and how they're designed. And also we're going to be talking about a YouTuber who goes by the name of CryptoStache, who happens to be a graphic designer. So he's just going to give us his insight on what he thinks about graphic design in general and how it could be applied to all these different cryptocurrency projects to make them more successful. CryptoStache, welcome to my videocast.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Yeah, it's cool to be here.
Very nice, very nice. Could you please introduce yourself just to the audience for the people that don't actually know who you are?
Yeah, so I am the CryptoStache. If you don't know why that might be, it's right here on the face. But in general, people call me the Stash or just Stash for short. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube and on Instagram. I actually have a really great website too, CryptoStache.com. And basically what I do is I'm all about education and, content creation. So I do a lot of, mostly focus on, helping people in any kind of a way that I can. So I do a lot of tutorials and reviews.
Yeah.
I also do, I'm starting to do some more news pieces and some more current event type of stuff as well. And my main focus really in this industry is educational content. I feel that we have a huge barrier when it comes to crypto. It's not easy to use right now. It's kind of like early '90s internet where it's like you got to have a dial-up modem, and it's like it's just not something that everyone was really hip to doing.
Yeah.
So I think that we're at a point right now where that educational element is very crucial to getting to the next step of mass adoption. So that's really what I try and do, and I do that across different channels, like I said, YouTube and my website where I write a lot of content as well.
Really good, really good. Interesting. And could you please tell us, when did you first get into crypto and how did you hear about crypto?
So I first got into crypto in 2013. It was when I first actually bought in. I'd heard about Bitcoin before then, about a year earlier, and I was just kind of going through some forums. I'm a tech guy, so I run a web development company. I've been a coder for a long time and designer, and so I've always been very tech focused. And I kind of came across Bitcoin, and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting, like digital money. That makes a lot of sense. And I didn't read too much into it and started looking around because it was something that kind of interested me and I had not really heard about it. And then I realized, and I saw oh, there's Litecoin too. Why is there two coins? It's stupid. It's got to be a scam.
Yeah.
So then I kind of put it in the back of my mind. I was like, oh, whatever, And then a year later in 2013, I kind of cycled back around to it. I saw a couple more articles, and I was like, oh, I need to kind of look into this a little bit more because I started seeing, some more hype around it. Another one of my friends had, said something about it, and I was like, all right, I gotta go take a second look at Bitcoin. And so I did towards the end of 2013, and that's when I really dug up into what blockchain really was, what actually powered it. I had not read the white paper before from Satoshi. I hadn't really looked at, what the application was and why it was, essentially created. And I realized it's very much a political movement. The fact that Satoshi Nakamoto put this essentially this newspaper headline in there that was about bank bailouts, right, in the Times. And so those elements, and then really understanding exactly how blockchain worked was kind of the trigger for me. Like, oh man, this is going to be huge. This is going to change all technology. All what we're doing is the same thing I saw when I was first using the internet. I was coding websites, at 16. And I didn't really, at the time, I was like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. This is going to be the future. But I was too young to really take advantage of it in a business sense at that time.
Yeah.
I understood that this was something that was going to be life-changing. And then the same thing would happen with smartphones. And, as things kind of progress, it starts to get easier to see how impactful technology can be on our lives. And once I really realized what blockchain was and kind of how it worked, that's when I was like, oh, man, this right here, this is going to be, I need to get in on this right now. And so I did.
In 2013.
My first Bitcoin on Coinbase. Yeah. Not ashamed to say that because there wasn't a lot of places to buy it back then. It was really easy. But that's what my buddy suggested. My buddy Rai, who's one of the guys. He's also actually a local musician, a musician as well. And so that's how we kind of know each other. And he was one who kind of oh, we should try Coinbase. And I was like, okay. Because I asked him oh, what's the best wallet, to go after. So I did. I bought in the end of 2013, and then as soon as a little bit after I bought, it was just all right, bear market.
Oh, so how much was it when you got in?
What's that?
How much was it when you got in?
I think I had it was at like 680, 680 when I got
Okay,
in.
so still quite
So it was like
expensive. Yeah.
yeah, it was right at the beginning. It was like the end of 2013, beginning of 2014. So I think it was like maybe January, February when I actually bought it.
So you caught the bull run of 2013, basically.
I bought that bull run, man, right at the top. I had no idea. Like I said, it was like a lot of people in 2017 where I got this FOMO and I was like, man, I got to get on this now. And even then, I was like, it seems a little bit expensive. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. So I looked
Especially
at the price
checking out
history.
the history, like, yeah.
Right, because I had looked a little bit at the history, and I'm not a financial guy. As
Yeah.
much as I'm a tech guy, I was never like a stock investor. I didn't do I'm more on the creative side of things. So I didn't know anything about most financial markets or how to read a trading chart or any of these things. And so yes, 100%, I FOMO'd in at the end of 2013.
Ooh.
I bought the top of the market, and then a couple months later, I watched it for a couple months, and then I started seeing it dip down. I was like, oh man, this is horrible. And I just left it. And I just let it sit there. I let it sit there for 2 years, man. So I hodled. I was an original hodler there, and I hodled all the way through 2016. And then in 2016 is when I was like, I started seeing a couple more articles about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I got some Bitcoin. Let me go check that out again. And so yeah, into 2016, I was like, oh man, this actually has grown a lot in the last 2 years. And then I read about Ethereum and some other things going on. I was like, wow, the things have kind of really picked up. It's more interesting now.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's when I really got into it, and I started the CryptoStache.com and try to help friends out to understand it. And that's kind of how I got started with the whole stuff that I do now with content creation and tutorials.
Wow. Interesting. So you and Ben from the BitBoy channel got in quite around the same time because he said he got in 2012, so only a year before you. But
Yeah.
wow, it's just amazing. Like, imagine if you guys knew what's gonna happen and you just like went hard, I mean, I didn't even know about Bitcoin honestly in 2012, 2013. I only found out, like, my wife told me about it in 2016 and I just ignored her. And I was so
Yeah.
stupid for ignoring her. I was like, man, why did I do that? Why?
What a
Ah!
horrible story.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. So it wasn't until 2017 when I, like, around August, when Bitcoin was around the same price as it is now, that's when I first heard about it and actually got in. But yeah, yeah, I basically sold and got back in again, and played around with it basically. So I also
Yeah.
got caught by the dip, and I'm sure like you did as well. You probably bought back in around 2017 again, didn't you? When even though the prices were high.
So no, that
No.
you made a good point. Like Bitboy too, you're right. He
Yeah.
he he found it on, but he sold. He sold it like for a profit at one point. I never sold. I literally still have the same Bitcoins that I bought in 2013. I've never sold them.
Wow.
So I didn't. I didn't
Really.
sell. People would, oh, you should have sold at the top, and yeah, I probably should have.
Yeah.
At 2017, but I was like, oh, maybe it's just gonna keep going up. But in general, like I'm more of a long-term investor
Yeah. Yeah.
versus being a trader. So I do
Yeah.
trading. I definitely do some trading. It's not, I do a few swing trades here and there,
Yeah.
but I'm not a full-time trader. I don't, do TA that often. Like, I mean, I do my own TA, but I don't post about it. And,
Yeah.
there's people have different styles of content. Like I said, I'm more focused on the educational elements, but I'm more of an investor mentality. And so that's kind of what I talk about. And sometimes I talk about trading, things as well. But in general, I typically focus to, stashing your crypto.
Yeah.
And so kind of good ways of utilizing that when you do have that stash, and why
Yeah.
you should be investing in that kind of
Yeah.
respect. But if I see a good scalp, I'll definitely take it. But with my Bitcoin, I'm pretty much more of a hodler when it comes to Bitcoin.
Yeah. And coming to stashing your crypto, just one question on that. Do you find that now that you've been in it for so long, since 2013, and you've basically chosen Bitcoin as the one, now that you're seeing all these different altcoins, do you think that the same mentality holds up for these altcoins as well, or should you be regularly checking the updates or whatever the team's doing, just in case something seems dodgy and you may want to get out even though you're in a loss and get into something else? Do you find that mentality may change now with altcoins?
Yeah, no, definitely. Bitcoin is the first. It has market dominance. It is the brand name for crypto. When the
Yeah.
mainstream markets talk about crypto, it's Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Very few people that know anything past Bitcoin. If they've heard, even if they've just heard of Bitcoin, they know Bitcoin, and they may not even have heard the term cryptocurrency. Maybe they have, but then when they associate it, they associate crypto with Bitcoin, and that's it. So, while as we know that there's a lot of other coins out there, tons and tons of them, and other projects, and they are not all about being a currency,
Yeah.
the majority will still, associate cryptocurrency with Bitcoin. And so, I think that it has a special place within this market, this new asset class.
Yeah.
And so, all the altcoins, it's definitely an uphill battle for them, when it comes to that regard. Do I think that we need to be more cautious? Yes, for sure. You should definitely be, keeping on top of these projects and really only invest in projects that, you really truly believe in, that you've done research on your own, that you see that it has merit, because there's definitely a lot of scams that have been out there. We saw that in 2017. A lot of people getting scammed out of ship projects that end up tanking or really never produced anything at all. They just had a really good white paper that sounded great. We're just throwing money at them, and that happened, But so in general, my rule of thumb when I'm investing in altcoins is I need to see a working product. If they don't have an actual working product, the chances of me investing in them is almost zero. And also too, I tend to only really invest in maybe top 50, top 100 coins. And, that's one of my rules as well. But really my main rule is really having I don't know that I've ever purchased, I don't think I've ever purchased an altcoin that didn't already have some sort of working product. I can say, yes, for sure. Here is something that works, something they do, something they have that, that makes me confident that they're going to continue to do this, that they're actually developing something, not just, we have a great idea, give us some money.
Yeah, because the other risk with that is hype, and also it's kind of like a gamble, really, isn't it? Because they may tell you, okay, we've got enough funding to last us for the next 5 years, 10 years, but how do you know that? I mean, you got to trust them, right? So, yeah. Okay, so to actually move on to the next question, what made you start YouTube? Why did you actually become a YouTuber?
Well, the funny thing about it is, like I said, I started my website in the beginning of 2017, and I really just kind of started it to be a place where I could talk about my own journey. Maybe I could send my friends there, they could see, so instead of me just being a broken record with them. Like, hey, you should check out crypto. Hey, it's really cool because it does this. And they're like, shut up. I don't want to hear about it. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to make this website. I'm going to, kind of document my journey. Fun. And so I did that all the way through 2017. And, I got a ton of traffic on my website. I started getting way more people asking me questions that weren't my friends and, just random, people off of search engine traffic. And it was nice. And I got, a lot of traffic to my website. But what I realized after the end of 2017 is that all these people on YouTube had really blown up as well. And I kind of feel like I missed that boat. And I was like, man, because I had always intended on getting onto YouTube and doing some video stuff, but I just didn't do it during the bull market. I wasn't ready and set up for it. And so I realized, man, that was a really big missed opportunity for me to help a bunch of people, because I felt like there was more people on YouTube searching for this information than there was really searching through it through websites or other places.
True.
And YouTube is a really great way to connect with people. And so that was really what inspired me. I looked at some other people who I follow, like Crypto's News, Omar Bam, and Jason Appleton, Crypto Crow, and a couple others, Crypto Zombie, and some other people.
Yeah, they started early. Yeah.
These are people that have created great followings and have really been able to help some people, and I want to be in that same level. So I started my channel in late May of last year. That's when I officially I think posted my first real video there. So.
Yeah, you started around the same time as me. I think I started around April. But my biggest mistake was taking a break for like 2 or 3 months. Yeah, I took a break for 3 months, and it was already a bear market. So, it was like, you're not getting any subscribers, bro. So,
well,
but yeah.
I built my subscriber base up just, in this bear market. I honestly feel like that's a better way of going about it. I think that a lot of people who did build their audience during the bull market, it's a lot of inflated audience. It's people who were hyping it. They subscribe because I'm gonna follow, and then maybe they're not even watching the videos anymore.
That's true. Yeah.
Not really part of the community, and so everyone, I feel like all the people I've all the subscribers and people in my community are people who are really there. They come out, they watch the videos. They're in my Telegram. We're working together as a community to learn and grow together. And that's what I really try and foster here. So I'm actually really proud of the community that I've built, even though it's still small.
Yeah.
And it's slow to build, here in this bear market. I think everyone there is really quality top people. So.
That's true. No, and I find exactly the same as you. Like, I mean, I got like 577 subscribers, and I could say that like the average views that I get per video are around 120, 150, something like that, which is not too bad if you think about it, considering the amount of subscribers. But I have seen people with like 3,000, 4,000 subscribers and maybe only 50, 60 views, right? So it's like you're saying, it's that inflation thing, right? So not many people actually watch the videos. So yeah, I think it's very important to build a community and the way you communicate to the people. But obviously, it's the material that you're creating, right? Because if you're just talking, maybe they're not interested to hear you talk, right? Because it's not that bull market anymore when you're like, okay, whatever you say, it's gonna go up, right? No, it's not the case anymore. So you need to present the evidence to the people, right? This is the thing. Yeah. So it definitely plays a role. But yeah, just to actually move on to the actual topic of this video. Thank you very much for giving us the background. So considering your background in graphic design, which projects do you think look attractive in terms of the design at the moment?
Yeah, so I've been a graphic designer for quite some time, and I think that that's one of the main things that's missing from crypto is really great marketing and design for projects. And so there's a couple projects out there that have done a really good job of it. Actually, I would say when you look at the websites and stuff, some of these projects are like, man, it looks kind of stock. It looks out of the box, like they bought this website somewhere. But there's a really great company called Hydro. I don't know if you know Hydro Project.
No, I haven't heard of Hydro.
But their website, I got turned on through their website through one of my buddies who's in the Satoshi Droppers, Christopher Crypto, and their website, when I went to it, I was like super impressed by it. I don't know if you want to take a look at it, but in general, it's projecthydro.io. I think it's projecthydro.io.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's .org. So yeah, I mean, their website is actually done really well. It like tells the story of their coin in a way that is animated and fluid and cohesive. And so there's just how well they've done the design on it really makes me want to like learn more about it. I really actually read the whole page, versus a lot of these other tokens. People are like, oh, go check out X coin or whatever coin, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll go check it out. And I jump on the website and I kind of skim through it. I read the top thing and kind of go, but Hydro actually did a really great job of telling the story of their coin and why they're doing what they're doing and how they're doing it in a way that was engaging and made me want to learn about it, made me want to be more a part of the community and to kind of be involved with what they're doing. And so I think that's really what great design can do. I think that there's some projects that do that really well, and some projects that kind of like just a lot. Actually, I think most projects kind of suck at it. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's really the problem we have is that, a lot of projects just don't have that aspect there of like, oh, here's really great design of what we do. I'll put a couple out there that I also like that I think do really well. Is I think Dash actually does a really great job with their website. It is actually when you go there, their website, is well designed. But one of the great things about it is that they really put merchant adoption first, which is a big point of their platform. And so, the way that they do that, they kind of have like a map that you can kind of see like who's using Dash. And so I think those types of things, those kind of design elements and graphics that they associate with it really help to like tell the story of their project and give it a little bit more credibility,
Yeah.
I don't know about yourself, but if you go to a website, it looks janky. Do you want to buy that coin?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, yeah, in my opinion, if the website doesn't look, I don't know, maybe not necessarily cutting edge and full of media and all that sort of stuff, but if it looks decent enough, I'd say like up to standard, uh, then I mean, yeah. But yeah, that actually to move on to the next question, how important do you think is the design of a crypto project compared to what the team are actually doing? So for example, if the website looks crappy, but the project is really solid and the team are working their ass off, they've got a working product like you were saying earlier, but like I said, the website is crap, whereas you got one which they're just hyping their project, but the website looks really futuristic, like out of a sci-fi movie. Which one would you go for? And what do you think people actually go for? Do you think people, in your experience?
No, and that's kind of a tricky one. So I would say, honestly, in my experience, a well-marketed project that sucks as far as technical is concerned or actual product is going to do better than a really great project with shitty marketing. And I've seen it time and time again. I've seen really great projects that have great teams, are working on something really amazing, and they just don't ever get traction because they can't connect with their community, and a lot of that connecting with the community comes down to how you present yourself. what kind of graphics you're using, your color scheme, your overall logo, things like that that are attractive. Just to put a spotlight here on everyone's favorite coin, Tron. Tron, whereas people can have issues with them because they were accused of plagiarizing the white paper. It's so and so. They're not, maybe people don't think they have a use case and whatnot. But the fact of the matter is they're really great at marketing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I agree.
even if people say, hey, the Tron sucks, they're not doing anything, it's vaporware. Well, but they're still a top 10 coin essentially. So how do they get there? Well, they got there through really great marketing. And so I've seen this a lot of times where even the project is solid, if they have bad marketing and but a really great team and a really great project, the chances are that they're not going to maybe do as well. You really need to have both to be the best, But I think that if you're going to look at one or the other, I think I would almost rather have better marketing and less of a product, because when you really talk about something, and how people build projects these days or build followings. I think launching a product I actually talked about this on my podcast not too long ago with my buddy Steve McGarry from Hack Crypto. And we talked about an audience first approach to building a product.
Yeah.
And so what that really means is that going out there and finding your audience before you really have a product, and then pulling them and saying, okay, now that we have 1 million followers, because people like what we want to do, and we're we have this like great marketing around it or these great ideas, what is the best product that these people want? And actually ask your community and your following now, and let them help drive what the product is going to be and where the product goes or where the project goes. And so I think that that's what we've seen more or less with Tron. I think we saw Tron, take this approach where, man, they're hyping it up, as this great coin, and with really great marketing and a great website and great ideas, lofty goals, but someone who's really great at marketing, and then they've garnered this pretty big following, and so I think they've kind of let that lead them a little bit more, taking more of an audience first approach to their design of stuff
to
versus
grow,
doing it the other way around. So.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think about Ontology's new website? I'm not sure if you had a look at it. They've recently changed it.
I haven't. No, let me go actually look at it right now.
ONT.io.
Yeah, bringing it up right now. I will say, man, I was a pretty good fan of Neo here, but I feel like they've just kind of fallen off, man. And the team has kind of really switched to ONTs from what I've read and looked at, and from the activity that we've seen, like the dApps are kind of like starting to slowly leave Neo, maybe go to other places. So
I had a chat about that with Ben as well on his Beards and Bitcoins. Not sure if you watched it, but I agree, and I did say it like that. I think Ontology are just becoming good at marketing. They're building partnerships. They're doing a lot of giveaways. They're keeping people up to date with their updates, and they've got a big community. And not only do they have a big community, but their official Telegram channels also have very active admins as well, which are really helpful, right? That, and also different languages. So now they've got like Telegram groups, official Telegram groups in different languages for different countries. So that also helps too, I think.
Yeah, the website looks a lot better. From the last time I looked at it, when I did a review of Neo, and I talked a little bit about the fact that Ontology was kind of a connected project. The website looks like it's improved. You're right. This website, the design of it is a lot cleaner. It's more consumer focused, more community focused. I think because it's not necessarily aimed at a technical person. I think that's important too. In the
exactly.
You got to look at who are your customers, who are you designing for.
Yeah.
You look at a website like this, like, well, why am I? Am I putting the is the text on here? Is the graphics? Do they relate well to the average consumer? Or do they really relate better to a business or to a technical minded person? And so I think we see that with a lot of projects, and a lot of times it just seems kind of like, and even when we do see that, sometimes it seems like disconnected from their brand too. So I think it's important to understand who your audience is when you do your graphics and your design of your site, but also make sure the design and the graphics kind of all match together and they flow together, and it's not just like, oh, we bought these graphics off of some plate, like this is a default template, we just use the stuff that was here.
Like the pieces of a puzzle, they all need to come together. Yeah,
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 exactly.
that makes sense, makes sense. Now, to move on to the next question, and it's more focused on actual blockchain gaming. I'm sure you've seen the games that are on blockchain at the moment. I mean, let's start off with Crypto Kitties. I mean, what do you think attracted people to invest in a digital pet? And then we've got Hyper Dragons on Ontology, which is pretty much the same except it's dragons. You grow them, you fight with them, you breed them, things like that. Like, why would people invest so much money in a digital dragon? Is it the design, the cutie design, that attracts people to it? What do you think, in your opinion, is the real reason for the popularity in these games?
Well, I mean, I think that people like to. I mean, I think people like to collect things in general, and the cute element obviously is important. So when you have something like this that is just a digital collectible type of thing, I think the cute element is there. It also has to have some sort of use, right? So the great thing about this, you can kind of breed them together and make cool new ones. I actually have some crypto kitties that I bought at the top of the market also because I bought them for an article and I was like, oh, I want to do something about this, an article about what crypto kitties is all about and why people would buy them and what gives something this digital value, right?
Yeah,
And so I bought a couple of crypto kitties and they all have mustaches, so I made sure that I got ones with mustaches on them. And so yeah, I mean, I think people like to buy these stuff in general, but I think it's more of a consumer focused thing too. When you talk about applications for blockchain, stuff like this, basic games that people would like play on their phone or do
yeah,
really, like things. That's stuff that's the kind of things that would put us into a mainstream market. And so, why do people want to do it? Yeah, I mean, I think the cute elements there. I think there's also people who speculate too, who see this as a way to maybe buy low, sell high, and they get a really great breed on a cat or a dragon, and like, oh man, here's a rare breed, I can go sell this for more on the market. So I think there's a little bit of that as well. But in general, I think I just the design of the games and the cats and things overall, I think definitely appeal to a more mainstream kind of audience. People who they're the people who have Farmville on their phone and they're paying for keys to
that's true.
like
Or
to like
Pokemon, or Pokemon, man, Pokemon.
right,
There
yeah,
had there have
exactly.
been people that actually died playing Pokemon, like literally fell off a cliff because he was
Yeah.
trying to catch a Pokemon which was around that cliff, right? It was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was on the
But
news.
yeah, and Pokemon's a little bit different, I would say, because it's more active. Like especially the mobile game, it was a lot more active, and so there was a lot more going on with some of these games. I feel like me personally,
Yeah,
there needs to be more there for me than just like, oh, I buy a kitty, I can breed a kitty to get another kitty, and I can trade my kitties.
yeah,
Like personally, I'm not like super big into it, but when you start getting into like there actually being actual gameplay, like you can battle them together, they have stats, and that's what interests me a lot more. And so
yeah, yeah,
there's some games like that are out there. Like there's one coming up called War of Crypto that's going to be released here pretty soon. It's like that. It's kind of like essentially like a Pokemon style
yeah.
but crypto, game.
Mortal Kombat on the blockchain. That's all we need, bro.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of I think we're even still early with the games, like having really high quality games to it in blockchain, and there's a couple that are on the cusp of release. I talk about Gods Unchained a lot,
Yeah.
which is a collectible trading card game, and I've been testing the beta, and it's awesome. So there's a lot of games that are about to come out, like Age of Rust is another really cool looking one that's crypto based. Um, War Riders is another one too that I think is really cool, and that's no, I think that's it. The
So
other
so
one
is
is
it is it the gameplay that you like, or is it the design and the gameplay both?
it's got well, for me. It's got to be both. Like it has to have killer design that is interesting and unique or cool in its own way. But there has to be some sort of gameplay for me too.
Yeah,
I bought Crypto Kitties and I did it just because I want to just do an article just for fun. I didn't do it because I'm like, oh man, I love Crypto Kitties and doing this. Like I read them for
yeah,
the article, popped out a couple of dolly faced Crypto Kitties. But the fact of the matter is, I'll never be able to sell those kitties for the same price I bought them for ever.
yeah. That's
On
the
at the
thing.
top of the market, and so yeah, I mean it's interesting, but I think I'm just not that type of person. But it definitely does come down to the design for a lot of people, and the fact that they can have the cutest little dragon,
Yeah, yeah. I was
and
telling Ben that
I'm that
actually.
person. That's not for
Sorry, yeah, I was telling Ben that actually Hyper Dragons Go is becoming quite popular actually on Ontology because people can actually win prizes in ONG, so they don't actually
yeah,
have to sell the pets. They can just simply use the pets to do whatever to actually generate ONG. And Trevon James is also playing it because I actually fought his dragon, And I thought, no, this can't be the real Trevon James. And then when I went to his channel to check it out, I saw he did a video on it. And I was like, okay, that is Trevon James then.
There seems to be a lot of fake Trevon James accounts out there. Like I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
there's one
yeah,
that follows me on Instagram, and I don't think he's the real one, but it's just funny.
yeah. No, this was the real deal. He does actually play it. Now, so to move on to the next question, if you had to build your own crypto project, how would you actually design it in terms of colors and media and all this sort of stuff? Like how, just like if you could give like a brief explanation.
Well, that's a damn good question. I think once again, I think I would go in the same way of like kind of trying to identify who my target audience is first. Doing research on exactly where they're already at. Like, okay, well, if this is my audience, what are they already interested in? If my audience is mainstream, stay-at-home moms who love to, do basic games on their phone, well, then I would want to try and design something that's going to be more along those lines. If it's going to be more hardcore gamers that I'm trying to go after, well, then I need to have something that's going to be a little bit more legit looking, that's maybe more realistic, right? That has more of a 3D look to it, or not so cartoony. And so I think that if I was going to do something like that, it really came down to the actual use case. And I think the use case and your audience would maybe dictate the design a little bit more, and so trying to understand what way you want to go with your promotion, I think is really big and would help me to narrow that down. So it's hard for me to say like how would I do it.
Yeah.
Me personally, I probably would go less cartoony and more realistic kind of looking. I love the kind of like the cyberpunk look, or like the apocalypse type of look of things. That's what attracted me to that game War Riders, which I thought was really cool. It's more of a apocalypse style game where you're got these Mad Max style cars that you race and whatever. So I mean, I think that those kind of styles, I think interests me a lot more. I actually had an idea for a mobile app that was similar to the Pokemon app, where you're actually out hunting for crypto in a way that's like very gamified, and so you have to like kind of fight for it, stuff like that. But in general, yeah, I think it really just comes down to who you're trying to market to, and you want to make the graphics and the look of the game, fit that demographic.
Yeah. So you'd have some animations, I assume, on your website, on the homepage, right?
Oh yeah. I think that when it comes to doing like a game in particular, having a website that is very animated and very interactive is super important, because that kind of gives an idea of like, oh wow, here this leads into how cool the game is going to be. So yeah, I definitely think animations, videos, stuff like that are highly important for games on the blockchain.
Yeah. No, I agree. Thank you. Thank you for breaking that down for us and giving us. And what's your favorite color, by the way?
Favorite color is green, man.
Green. Okay, like the green screen.
Like the green screen, on like a green candle.
The green candle.
Really, honestly, it's always been green before I was in investing, but it just happens to work really well with crypto.
Nice.
I love the green.
Nice. And as the last question that we have for the audience, when do you personally think we're going to see the bull run again? Well, the next bull run, because there could be many more.
Yeah, well, we're going to see the next bull run. We're already in the longest bear market that crypto's ever had. And so, when you look at markets, they definitely go in cycles. And I feel like when you look back at Bitcoin, there's a lot of memes out there or graphs out there that you can check out. But Bitcoin goes in cycles too. And just like any other financial market, we have bigger upswings and downswings because this is a new asset class. But I think that I think that next bull run is literally just around the corner. I can't say like, oh, it's going to be now, because that's a hard thing for anybody really to calculate. Like, okay, I know the next bull run is going to for sure be in September. Like, that's just stupid to say.
Yeah.
Do I feel like we're going to have one soon, or do I feel like it's going to continue to bear market for 5 more years? No, I don't. I think that we're going to see a bull run, if we're not already seeing it now, based upon what we saw today with this huge run up that we've seen in the market with Bitcoin touching 5K. I think that there's a good chance that it comes this summer or towards the end of the year that we're going to see like a nice bull run return here to crypto. Maybe seeing some all-time highs for some coins. Will we see all-time high for Bitcoin? I don't know. I think we really need a lot of news and a lot of positive aspects coming into crypto to really see some all-time highs for Bitcoin again.
Right.
Will it be this year? Maybe not. I do think we'll see another bull run this year. I don't know that we'll see another all-time high for Bitcoin this year.
So you're thinking it's going to be towards the end of the year, more or less, and it's not really going to be for Bitcoin, but maybe for the alts.
I mean, I think we'll see a nice run here for Bitcoin. Honestly, I think this summer, in my opinion, really for the markets, I'm really thinking this summer is going to be really great for crypto. But I don't know that. I think we'll see Bitcoin, get close to maybe its all-time high. But I think that that's going to be a huge resistance point for us. That 20K resistance point for all-time high to really break. And I think it's going to really depend on major news, maybe an ETF coming, major.
Regulation.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe major regulation, but also major projects like Facebook coming on board and
Yeah.
launching their token or their coin with WhatsApp or across all their platforms, which they've talked about. Bakkt coming in possibly, with being able to really spin crypto in a mainstream type of way that makes it super easy. Like, so if we get some major news and major breakthroughs like this, I think that could be a huge catalyst.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of these products are actually very close as well to
And I'm wearing my
to
Bitcoin shirt. I don't know if you saw, but like I got "May the Coin Be With You," my Star Wars Bitcoin shirt here. So
nice Star Wars fan.
I'm all about it, man. I definitely
Cool.
I definitely see good things. And when I said I'm a long term investor too, so I'm not that worried. Like, oh man, bear market, oh things suck. Like I don't trade a lot, so it's not a big deal to me. I just hodl through, and when I see a good opportunity, I'll definitely take it. But in general, I know that my long term investments are going to pay off.
Nice. Now I know I said that's the last question, but this actually dragged on to another question that I'm curious to hear your input on. Let's say that the bull run does happen, right, very soon, and you're going to make like a shitload of money, right, millions. Would you continue to educate people, like say outside of YouTube? Like I know you do that, like in LA, right? You go
Yeah.
to this center with Crypto NDO and you guys educate. Would you continue to do that if you
Yes.
made a shitload of money, or would you just travel the world and forget crypto?
Oh no, man, I'm not that guy. There's definitely those people who we saw do that in 2017. Got a big channel, and then you don't hear from them no more. There's a lot of them out there, man. But my passion really is helping people. I love to be able to guide people in the right direction, and I love doing this. Honestly, I really enjoy it. And so the only thing that a large run up in crypto, if I became like a crypto millionaire, would ever really do for me is really just allow me more time to be able to do these kind of creative things and to do more fun things. I actually have a project that we're going to announce here. This is the first time I'm talking about it. Actually, I'm going to announce here tomorrow, and I have it's called the Crypto Bit Bus. And so this is going to be a bus full of content creators plus a bunch of our friends and other people. It's going to be open to the public tomorrow. But we have like 17 major content creators that are going to be on board this bus, and we're going from Los Angeles up to San Francisco this summer for the Bitcoin 2019 conference. And so I think it's June 25th to 26th are the dates for the conference. And so it's going to be huge, man. We're going to be doing a bunch of content on the bus. We're all going to be hanging out. We're going to be able to do interviews and hobnob with all the people on the bus. But it's a very limited thing, and I think it's actually going to be really big and a lot of fun. And so I'm all about finding cool, unique things to do within crypto. And I think
I should have moved to the States.
Yeah, if I didn't make much money, I would just be able to do more of those cool things and not have to worry like, oh man, I gotta pay rent, so I gotta spend time doing this because I gotta pay the bills,
Yeah.
So that's why I would, yeah.
Wow, nice.
I'm not just here for the money. A lot of people are like, I'm just here for the money, man. I'm here for everything else. I want the money too. I'm not.
Yeah, everyone does. Yeah.
I'm here because I've made some of the best friends in crypto. I'm here because I really truly believe in the technology. I'm here because I've always been an early adopter, and I want to see this succeed because I understand how much good this technology actually really could do if we apply it right. And I want to help people to understand that.
That's true. Cool. Well, thank you very much, CryptoStache. You've been very, very good. You've answered a lot of interesting questions. Now, maybe people have a better understanding of what they should look for when they analyze a project, do their own research, check out the website of the project, what they should expect. Not to fall for the scammy ones, which are hyping a lot, like on Twitter, all colorful, all nice, but no real product, no real, nothing. So yeah, just be careful. But yeah, thank you very much for joining, CryptoStache.
Thanks for having me, man.
And yeah, if you're interested to check out CryptoStache's YouTube channel, in the description below you'll find the link. So do check it out, do subscribe. He does a lot of content, really good content as well. He breaks down different projects. So yeah, do check that out. Thank you very much for joining, and guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Have a lovely